So in our previous videos, we talked about frequency distribution and the ways of constructing frequency distributions. Now we'll talk about how to make or construct graphs of frequency distribution. So let's start. First of all, let's see what are the four graphs that we'll be talking about. Histogram, frequency polygon, smoothed frequency curves, and the fourth one is Ogives or cumulative frequency curves. So now let's see. Our first graph is histogram. What is histogram? Histograph is basically a graph that represents the class frequencies in a frequency distribution by vertical adjacent rectangles. हम सबको पता है histograms क्या होते हैं? Basically, it represents the class frequencies and these class frequencies के basis पे हमारी heights बनती है of these vertical adjacent rectangles. हम basically जो हमारी continuous series होती है, only for those series we can construct our histograms. तो जो हमारे histograms होते हैं, these are basically constructed by constructing vertical adjacent triangles for those class frequencies. हम समझते हैं कैसे होता है. Let's make a graph. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. On x-axis we plot our variable. On the other hand, on y-axis we plot our frequencies. So since it's a continuous series, we'll make this series continuous. And so let's see, we have, this is our frequency distribution, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So these are our classes. So if we have a frequencies, we'll simply mark them as height. Let's suppose we have these frequencies. For interval 0 to 10, our frequency is 5. For interval 10 to 20, our frequency is 7. So we'll simply construct a rectangle with the height of 7 by seeing it from here. Right? So this is how we make our histograms. Now we will talk about it in detail. But before that, let's see how to, while making a graph, let's suppose our variable starts from 50 to 60. So we can simply make a kink here just to show that there's a gap, there's a jump or there's a gap between it, and we can simply mark our frequency 0 and then have 50. Because our graph will only start from 0, that is the origin. Similarly, if we are making it for 50, if we know, okay, that our frequencies are above 20, and we are making frequency at interval 5. So we can simply make a small kink again over here, just like we made a kink here. To show that it's something from 0, we are simply starting with 20. Right? So this is how we make our histograms. Now let's talk about in detail. First of all, we'll talk about making histograms for two types of class intervals. First is equal class interval and second is unequal class intervals. For equal class intervals, it is similar to what we talked about before. Here, that is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. And let's make our frequencies or y-axis a distance of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So now let's plot our frequencies. First of all, as we can see, for our class size is 10. We have a frequency of 5. So we'll simply plot a rectangle with the height of 5. For class 10 to 20, our frequency is 11. So let's plot it as frequency of 11. When we have 20 to 30, our frequency is 19. So let's plot our graph with the height of 19. For 30 to 40, our height is 21. So again, we'll plot graph with the height of 21. For 40 to 50, our height is 14. So we'll make our frequency 14 and our height will become 14. So this is our graph, right? So let's just make it a neat one. So this is our graph, where on x-axis we have represented our class and on y-axis we have represented our frequency, or we can also let our classes be represent our marks and our frequencies being our number of students. So we can simply say this x-axis is representing our marks and this frequency is representing our number of students. Now we need to know one thing. When we have equal class intervals, that is हमारी जो class size है, these are all same, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So in that case, our height is equal to frequency. Right. now what happens when we have unequal class intervals? Unequal class intervals in the sense class size is 10, again 10, and class size becomes 20 here, again 10, 20. So these are unequal class intervals, right? Class size यहाँ पे हमारा change हो रहा है. So for this we need to know how to find the height. इसमें height will be different. So there's a very basic formula to finding the heights. That is, first of all, frequency density is equal to class frequency upon width of class interval, right? What will be a height? It will be simply frequency density into the width of smallest class interval, right? So we can simply say our height is class frequency upon width of class interval into the width of the smallest class interval, simply replacing the formula for frequency density. Now let's see in this case what is our height. So first of all, our frequency density will be simply frequency upon height, that is 5 by 10. Now for the height, it's width of smallest class interval, so multiply करेंगे, that is 10. Because as we can see 10 and 20s are there, so the smallest class interval has a width of 10. So it is equal to 5. Then again 11 upon 10 into 10, 11. 19 upon 20 into 10, so this becomes 9.5. Now this is 21 upon 10 into 10, this becomes 21. And for this again we have 14 upon 20 into 10, which becomes 7. So now let's construct the graph for it, simply making it simple one. We will simply plot our frequencies at the interval of 5. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And our class intervals are the again intervals of 10. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and 80. So now we'll simply construct our histogram. So how we will do it? Our height is 5 for the interval 0 to 10. We'll simply construct it as 5. For 10 to 20, our height becomes 11. So it's something like this. For 20 to 40, our height becomes 9.5. That is somewhere here. So 20 to 40, our height becomes 9.5. Then for 40 to 50, it becomes 21. We'll simply construct it as 21. Then from 50 to 70, our height becomes 7. So this is our height. So thus we can say that this is our histogram, where for the unequal class size intervals, where we can see that even these histograms, the width of the histograms are changing with class intervals and the height has become proportional to the class widths. So this is how we make the histogram for equal and unequal classes. Now what happens when we are given only the midpoints of the classes, that is 10, like as we can see these are just the respective midpoints and these are the frequencies. So to construct it, we need to convert these midpoints into the classes. So as we can see, how will we do this? We can simply see the gap between the two. That is, we will simply take the difference between the two class intervals. Suppose that is, now let's midpoints, like for here, for these two, it's simply 1030 minus 1010. So it's simply equal to 20. So what will we do is we'll simply divide this 20 by 2. That becomes 10. So we'll add 10 here and subtract 10 here. So what our interval becomes? It turns out to be 1000 to 1020. Then again we'll subtract 20 from here. So 10 from here, 1020, 1040. Then 10402, 1060. What we have done is, for this 1010, we've simply subtracted 10 and added 10. Simply subtracted 10 and added 10. Again subtracted 10 and added 10. Then again for this interval it becomes 1060, 1080, and this becomes 1080 to 1100. So these are our classes, these are our respective frequencies, and we can now simply plot our histograms using our classes and our frequencies. There's a possibility that they are unequal class intervals. So again, for how if it's a 1080, then the gap would have been between of 30. So we would have simply, for here we would have simply added 15 and subtracted 15. So it will always depend from class to class, right? So now we will talk about frequency polygon. Basically, what is frequency polygon? To understand it, there are two ways to construct a frequency polygon. First of all, first way is simply plotting a histogram. That is, as we can see, it's still 50. So let's make a little bigger one. We'll simply plot our histogram like earlier. So this interval was 5, then 10, 15, 20 and 25, right? So again, when we are plotting it, for the first one our height is only 5. Then for 10 to 20 our height is 11. For 20 to 30 our height is 19. For 30 to 40 our height is 21. For 40 to 50 our height is 14. So first of all, what we'll do is we simply take the midpoints of these histograms. At the upper bars or at the height, we'll take the midpoints. And we'll simply join these midpoints with the straight lines. Right? And we'll simply join it till here, I'll join it till -5. And for here, I'll join this till 55. Right? At 55, I'll join it. And so this is our frequency polygon. Otherwise, second way is simply taking the midpoint and then simply constructing it. How will we do that? Simply taking the midpoints 5, 15, 25, 35, 45. These are midpoints. Now we'll make a simple graph like this, where on our x-axis we'll simply plot these points: 0, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And here we'll simply plot our frequencies again: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So simply, where our midpoint is 5, our height is 5. Then for 11, when it is 15, so 15, so till 11. Then when it's 25, we have it as 19. So here's our 19. When it's 35, we have it as 21. And when it's 45, we have it as 14. So we'll again join these points with straight lines and then again touch it to the touch it below to 55 and here till -5. So this is a frequency polygon. These were the two ways of constructing frequency polygon. One was with the help of histogram. Second is simply taking out the midpoints and joining them. Right? Now let's talk about a third curve, that is smoothed frequency curve. So the only difference between our smoothed frequency curve and our frequency polygon was here, as we have seen, we have made straight lines. But for frequency, a smoothed frequency curve, this curve would have simply made a curve like this. Like this is a curve. Here we have simply made a straight line. We'll simply make this at this like this. These are not straight line. These are simply curves. Like over here, let's suppose when we were constructing our graphs, our points were something like this, 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 this. So instead of making a curve, the straight line will simply make a curve like this. As we can see, this is a curve, right? So this is the only difference between smoothed frequency and polygon. We were making straight lines there. Here we make simply a freehand drawing, freehand curves. These all our points are smoothed. So that is simply a smoothed frequency curve. Now let's talk about cumulative frequency curves or ogives. So now in a cumulative frequency distribution, each class is made to include frequencies of all the lower or all the upper classes, right? Depending upon whether it's less than series or more than series. Less than series simply mean for this classes where our class intervals are 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Less than series is simply less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, less than 50. We are taking everything less than the upper limits. But when we are considering more than series, we are simply taking more than 0. That is more than a lower limit of the classes. More than 20, more than 30, more than 40. So let's see. First of all, we'll see how to construct a less than ogive. To construct a less than ogive will simply tell us the cumulative frequencies. That is, it will simply tell us everything less than 10, frequencies less than 20, frequencies less than 30. So basically, 0 to 10, we are simply saying it's the frequency, or 5 is the frequency of the class interval 0 to 10. So when we are saying less than 10, we are saying everything less than 10, that is 5. These are known as cumulative frequency of class 0 to 10. Then we have is less than 20. Less than 20 means everything that is below 20. That is from interval 0 to 10 plus interval into 20. So that is 5 plus 11. Right? So less than 30 means everything less than 30. So it includes all the first three series. Simply 5 plus 11 plus 19. Again less than 40 will become 5 plus 11 plus 19 plus 21. Less than 50 will become 5 plus 11 plus 19 plus 21 plus 14. Right? So this is simply our less than series. Now let's see how do we construct these ogives. So now how will we construct these ogives? Simply first of all we draw it and we'll simply mark this as less than ogive. Again we'll simply mark on the x-axis as size or maybe a variable, and over here we'll mark our frequency. Now remember one thing, these are cumulative frequencies for classes 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. But these are frequencies for less than 10, less than 20, less than 30. So we'll mark on our x. So we'll simply write it as cumulative frequency. And simply mark our ogive. How? 0. Then when it's make it as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and mark it as 5. Now let's make it as interval of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we'll simply plot it. When it's 10, our ogive is at 5. Then when it's 20, it's 16. When it is 30, it's 35. When it's 40, it's 56. When it's 50, it is simply 70. So this is our less than ogive. Now we need to remember one thing which is very clear. That is, we need to join from below and it's always rising. So we simply know that our less than ogives are always rising. Right? So this is how we make our less than ogive. Now we'll talk about our next ogive, that is more than ogive. Again, for more than ogive, we'll simply plot everything more than our lower limits. That is, more than 0 means simply 5. More than 10 means, more than 0 is not 5. First of all, we make it from more than 40. More than 40 is simply 14. Then more than 30 means everything that is from 30 to 14, 40 to 50. Therefore, 21 plus 14. Then more than 20 means 19 plus 21 plus 14. More than 10 means 11 plus 19 plus 21 plus 14. And more than 0 means 5 plus 11 plus 19 plus 21 plus 14. So now we need to see one thing. When we are saying more than 0, this is our total sum of frequencies. This is the total of this, which is equal to 70. Similarly, in our previous slide, less than 50 means total frequencies. That is our N. Right? So now we'll simply plot our more than ogive once again. Similar to less than ogive, we'll simply plot it as 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. And the mark-up frequencies are interval of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And simply mark ogive as more than 0 means 70. More than 10 means 65. Then against 20 we have 54. Against 30 we have 35. Again 40s we have 14. So we'll simply join this curve again. And right. So now this is and we'll simply make it as something like this. Or we'll simply join it as 50 to 0. We'll simply join it over here. So what we can say, this is our more than ogive. One thing we need to notice is, in our less than ogive it was upward sloping, but in our more than ogive it is downward sloping. So this is how we make our graphs for the frequency distributions. I hope you like this video. Thank you.